this is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
I want to help, though.
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before? He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible. You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. Paimon's so confused. Huh? Ah!
Oh?
Sorry. Paimon accidentally... It's the balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. Erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul? Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working. Ugh! Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him.
He's trying to fix it.
There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too? Have you got any ideas on what we should do next? But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight. List all our favorite foods to take our mind off things. Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. All right, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes, cream stew, sauteed matsutake, and Dragon chili chicken, almond tofu, satisfying salad. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and...
Huh? What's wrong?
What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again?
You were listing foods?
The balladeer? Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name, though.
No. No, shit. Goddamn. Well, that right there. That's a thumbnail.
So, the balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy. This is not good. Pardon me, I'd like to ask you a
Of course.
question
Go ahead.
about that Raiden Gogakin?
Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Aminoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith. 400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him.
That's not the same story.
But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer. He murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your expression says it all. This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while.
That was not the voice that I thought was going to come out of that. Hello.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
Where are we going next? What are we looking for? Something?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the Traveler and Paimon?
Yeah, I figured that's how he sounded.
Xavier? What are you doing here?
Xavier.
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
Well, okay, thank you.
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history as one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way. One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then, too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that? But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
What's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you. Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Oh, Paimon, Bino Crocodile. My goodness. I have some cooches for you. There you go. Right is always right.
Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then she decided she wanted to go to Inazuma.
I was investigating the situation with the balladeer.
The balladeer?
Oh, not you
It
two.
sounds like some kind of code name.
Oh, boy.
Is there something you need to tell me?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
There are things that happened that only I can remember.
So, this puppet known as the balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But
Did change the past.
how was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality. Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. If he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense, every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
I want to check something. This should be the one.
Pretty pretty. It's a box.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
I authored this record myself.
You wrote a fairy tale? That somehow has something to do with the balladeer?
Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us. The now erased life of the balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
We solved it!
This is not just the balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion.
Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where your twin first came into this world.
Come on, Traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk.
I was walking around
We're
gathering
here!
wood.
What should we eat
I guess
first?
I walked into the quest.
Are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat. What is it? Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right.
Oh, snap.
Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
Ooh, he's about to say his name.
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsettias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Let's follow.
Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Yeah, this'll do.
Why would you pick up the ones on the ground? You can at least get the ones up in the tree.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsettias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Hush, Paimon.
Oh, all right.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back. Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
Woo! We've been spotted.
He spotted us.
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
Yeah.
Have we met before?
Those are some big ass Sunsettias. What the fuck? Where can we find these?
No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Yeah.
I have no recollection.
It's complicated.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
I can prove it. Somehow, you're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
Oh.
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
Follow me.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm. and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
All right.
Then let's return to the city.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
I'm these two.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't...
I don't have a life.
No, you're right.
It's okay, Scaramouche.
Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo.
Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Of course they're gonna stick around. He didn't go through the same stuff. Still gonna be the nice Scaramouche that we know now. He won't be a Scaradouche anymore.
Nahida! Nahida!
What's wrong, huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything.
But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain.
It is quite difficult. Like, how do you tell him without telling him he used to be a bad guy? Like, you definitely don't want to do that. It's gonna ruin his whole thing.
I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called, previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation? Oh, okay. I see.
Oh, sorry.
You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation. Please, tell me the truth.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
Yeah. All things considering, if shit didn't go down the way it did, we wouldn't have been enemies. It's all the doctor's fault.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything!
I trust that everything you told me must be true.
I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Are you sure?
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish. Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Yes.
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Oh, it's okay. I know you didn't. Oh, no, you did mean it, but I know you did. Huh.
This looks like Inazuma?
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after.
What are we doing back here?
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here.
I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
You promised me.
We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the Balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the Balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together. He died from his illness while he was still very young. The Balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too.
The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Hey, this looks familiar.
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the Delusion Factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the Traveler once encountered the Balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar. Look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan.
We killed her.
Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
True that.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
No, you won't, because we killed you.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that.
There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
The doctor.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information.
Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
Person gives off a very sinister energy.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets?
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass. Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next.
Oh, he's glitching up.
But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self. Grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours. You have made your decision. Now, take this.
That looks like it hurts.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here?
Egg.
You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
You.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
Oi, you fucker, get out of here. That was rude.
Balladeer?
trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Ma'am.
Have you got any more stupid questions?
Take that as a yes.
Feeble human!
He's a catalyst? Oh. I pushed the wrong button.
The wind rises. At my command, you shall fall.
You fall, bitch. Ow, 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 ow.
How amusing.
Fucking battling a level 90 right now.
Churn! Behold! My endless cycle begins! Squall and Fury. Insignificant past! How amusing. Cry loud. Perish! The wind rises. Churn! Insignificant past! You dare to gaze upon me?
Hello? Knock, knock.
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
Okay, well, way to fucking prove me wrong. I was hoping his behavior would stay the same.
You're definitely back to your old self.
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am. You sound like you're concerned about me.
I am concerned about you.
But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.